don't think we deserved more than a point. I thought we deserved the point for being resolute, really strong. We got off to a really good start. And a great chance with Freddie to go 2-0 up. And even though MK Dons had a good bit of the ball, they never had any real clear-cut ones in the first half, only that one at the end. We thought we had 1 or 2 chances. We looked really dangerous in the counter-attack. Losing Wardy was a blow, because he's been brilliant for us. And then you lose Flynn, the two of them, and play half an hour with 10 men. But really proud of the team, really pleased how we were playing. Really, really pleased. We were strong, different performance from other games. And so from that point of view, I'm really happy.
Hello again, friends, and you are my friends, and welcome back to the most talked about, most viewed, most listened, #1 Ipswich Town podcast for all your news, views and opinions. And we're going to review the week that has been Ipswich Town, from social media to Italian restaurants and a whole lot more in between, including yesterday's 1-1 draw with MK Dons, a game which saw the town finish with 10 men. You heard from manager Paul Lambert there, courtesy of ITFC iFollow and Darren Palfrey. We thank you ever so much. Now just bring in my 2 assist making machines. We'll kick things off first of all with our comments. Nick Muller is first in. Of course you are, Nick. What would you like this afternoon? Andrew Arbin, afternoon. Victoria Henderson, good afternoon. Glad you could all make it. Guys on Facebook, welcome in. Get involved in this conversation, in this podcast, in this live show. Whatever you want to call us or label us, we don't mind. We honestly don't mind. But just get involved. It's your chance now to really discuss Ipswich Town. Obviously 1-1 yesterday, James Norwood, Italian restaurants. It's all gone on. But let's bring in, first of all, this man here. Mr. Phillips, how you doing this afternoon?
I'm all good. Greetings from wet and dismal Essex. And I've got some big news for everyone. The Phillips family have made a new signing this week. I've opened up the checkbook. Unlike Marcus Evans, bought in a new asset, a new dishwasher. Fantastic it is.
Absolutely. There you go. What a week it's been in the Phillips household. You've reached the mountain. You've reached the peak. It's only downhill from here. So you didn't join us yesterday for the match day ticket live, guys. If you didn't join us like Matt didn't, you can watch this show at any time or listen to it any time. So what were your thoughts after yesterday's 1-1 draw with MK Dons?
Well, I wish you guys back on the full-time show. Wish you back on demand. And, Jordan was on, wasn't he? Our legend of Lowestoft was on, Jordan. And he said he felt a little bit flat. And I kind of agreed with that, really. It was like, I put on Twitter earlier, come and talk to us about the damp squib that was the MK Dons game. Never really got going. Made them look pretty good. I mean, like...
We did, yes.
Brendan and Alex Matthew were saying at the start of the second, they're playing some really good stuff here. Look, they might have been wearing all white. They weren't Real Madrid, were they?
At times, we made them look like Real Madrid, though, didn't we?
They had the cutting edge of a frisbee. They were just passing that ball around, and they wasn't much threat up front. They are bottom of the table, by the way. But I did say on the show last week that I thought it might be a tough game. I think we might come away with a draw, and that's how it proved to be. Again, it comes down to this mental toughness for Ipswich. Didn't start the game particularly well. I think Lambert said he thought we did start well. It was okay. I mean, how many bounces did the ball have from Nolan's shot to go in? It was about 200, wasn't it? Rolled in.
Well, we've got the goals coming up on the show, of course, as always. In fact, let's just jump to the goals and then jump to Lambert, because he's got something to say about different qualities. I liked the roar at the end there when they scored. Like, they don't get that sort of roar at MK Dons normally. Who's smashing that button? The fake crowd noise. And where have they got it from? So those were the highlights. We'll obviously draw back to those throughout the show as we go on. If I had to ask you before I do play Paul up, just to spread out the clips a little bit, who was your standout performer yesterday? Who stood out for you?
I've been really critical of him, really badly so as well. But Toto, I have to give the guy credit. He was there, putting his neck on the line, putting the blocks in, flying in. I thought he played. I thought he played really well. I mean, some people I know Rich put in his poll. He put Holy in the poll. And I think Alex Maffey said he was his man of the match. But I'm starting to think now that Thomas Holy is the Toto of goalkeeping, because 1 minute he'll make a blinding save, and the next minute he's doing that daft volleyball palm into the path of the MK Dons striker. So he goes up and down as well. So yeah, I think Toto. But we could easily have lost that game yesterday if MK Dons had some cutting edge, and they didn't. They passed the ball around really nicely, obviously trying to pattern a play like we are. But we didn't press them, did we? Where was that press we had against Bristol Rovers on that opening day, the 3-0 in the Carabao? I haven't seen that much since.
And I'm sure the Mars Kenlock debate will rear its head again, but the press you're talking about kind of led to their goal, because Kenlock presses on the halfway line, leaving a space in behind, and we just get disjointed at that point. Andrew Arben, Toto was the man. Adam Flatt, same old Lambert was tactically poor. Didn't look to change shape or look for a plan B when A wasn't working. Judge was so wrong. We've got that coming up on the show as well. Ben King, poor second half performance. And then we've got Graham John Tate. Ipswich stats, 1 shot on target, same as last season. Lambert on different qualities.
Oh, without a doubt, Jacob. I think we were strong, resolute. Defending was fantastic. We have a chance with Guion. You always get a chance, and I'm really happy with the guys. Really, they've given me absolute everything. And today, losing two important guys, was a blow. Hopefully, it's not too serious. But I'm really proud of them. Really am. No, I don't. Hopefully it's not too bad. Flynn, I don't know, just with the knee at that minute. Wardy, we wait and see. Credit to Miles coming in, done really well. So we have to wait and see. But as I said, overall, as I said before, we've played 4 games. We have won 3, drew 1. Really good start. Do
you agree with him there, Matt? We showed different qualities.
The first thing I want to say is, does he not go up to these players at the end of the game and go, how are you feeling? Or speak to the physios and going, how bad is it? Because he comes out each time and goes, I'm not really sure if it's a bad one.
That's the same across any sport, though. Like if you speak to an American football coach after the game, it's always, we're not quite sure. He's got a knee. It sort of makes me laugh because we know he's got a knee. Like, you know, he's got knees anyway, but what's wrong with the knee? But
I would want to know, being an OCD style person on these things, I'd want to know from the physio what exactly is wrong with him. What's he done? We won't know.
I think we're getting to the point, really, and we've got injuries coming up. I think we're getting to the point, Matt, where I want to start hearing from the physio in a press conference. Get him front and centre.
Before we came on air, mate, I did a little list. We have got 7 players in the treatment room right now. I'm counting Wolfenden in there because he suddenly went disappearing yesterday. Wolfenden, Ward, Kane Vincent, Skews, Downs, Drennan, Norwood. And we've got 4 just coming back, haven't we? Jackson was on the bench. Lancaster, we know, had some kind of injury, maybe a concussion or something. Alan Judge was out after that Fulham game. Donatian missed a little spell. So that's 11 players in total so far. And we've only just got to October. And the season started on September the 12th.
Yeah. Well, we've got injuries coming up, so I don't want to say too much without Cruncher being here. But before I bring Cruncher in, I do just want to turn my attention very quickly to the ITFC women's team. Good win last week, beating Bedericky 3-0 away from home with goals from Peake, Peskett and Biggs. The ladies host Cambridge City at home this afternoon. After 2 games, the ladies sit in 4th with a 100% record, 6 points, so 2 wins. Well done. The visitors sit in 6th, having played a game more on 4 points. So good luck to the Ipswich Town women's team today.
Yeah, fantastic.
And can I take this moment, if you like, just to say, if you haven't seen the women's team yet, you're missing out. They play some really good stuff, and they kicked off a loyalty scheme that starts from this. It was £5. I'm going to get one, Matt, because I like watching the women's team play. They play some really good stuff. I suggest if you've never been, or if guys have never been, then go and get yourself one and get behind the team. I'm going to go for another 3-0 win today. 3 points with Peake, Biggs, and new signing winger Sasha Adamson grabbing one. That's what I'm going to go for today.
Brilliant.
So there we go. I just thought we'd bring the women's team into the podcast as well. Just make it all inclusive.
We'll have to see if we can get the gaffer on, Joe, at some point.
Absolutely. So talking about gaffers, talking about responsibility. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen. Here he is, the cruncher, bringing the hard truth. Let's jump back to the men's team.
11 minutes. 11 minutes. You kept me waiting. I've been rushing home from work. I've had a shower, rammed the sandwich down my mouth, and now I've got a little Bulmers, you know.
How long were you on yesterday? Not long enough. Not long enough to talk about that drivel.
And he's got the workman in, haven't you, Rich?
He has.
Yeah, they're fitting a new cooker top as we speak.
Let's bring it back to that injury list. Tell me that injury list again, Matt, because I want to talk about those injuries now.
Yeah. So I've counted out 7 in the treatment room right now. Wolfenden, even though he was near the bench yesterday. Ward, Kane Vincent-Young, Skews, Downs, Drinnan, Norwood, and then 4 we've had injured and now coming back. Jackson was on the bench. Lancaster, we had a little spell away. Judge got injured in that Fulham game, and Donatian was injured at the start of the season. So that's 11 players in total, and and the season only started on September the 12th.
So what is going on? Tell me your individual opinions upon what is going on, why, what, and where.
Go on, Rich.
Look, injuries like yesterday, like Downs in the game. I think he twisted his knee. It looked a bad one. Brenner said it wasn't.
He got
Stephen Ward
carried off. Down the dugout, down the tunnel.
I think he said it at the time, didn't he? Triple H water spray, maybe next week. All over the furniture.
Not for the first time.
Look, the training injuries. I just find it bizarre that you're right there.
Oh,
Get yourself, Martin.
I just find it bizarre all the injuries we pick up in training.
Yeah.
I just don't understand what they're doing. Mick Mills has said before that you should be just ticking over in the week. You know, these players are fit. Maybe a lot of it is that they haven't played a lot of football, possibly. I know Lambert's sort of touched on that, saying with the condensed season, we're going to get a lot of injuries. But do all these other teams, I don't know what their injury records are like, Matt. I don't see other teams having like
Northampton have got 10 out so far.
They're longer-term injuries. We have longer-term injuries, don't we? Like Norwood, 8 weeks. Vincent Young, what is going on with him? Because nobody knows. We don't know. We're in the dark. Will he come out at Christmas? Will we see him at Christmas?
That Andre Gomez ankle was a real bad injury, wasn't it? Look at that. So he was back after 4 months. Sports science is huge in it these days. You have to have it. Has to be elite. You have to have the elite in your club, depending on regardless of what division you're in.
I think he makes a good point there. You get what you pay for, and I just wonder. And I wonder what you two think of this, and the guys at home get involved in the chat. If you want to come on the show, come on the show. Are we having tailor-made plans? I remember a player called JJ Okocha, who I'm sure I remember reading once couldn't train Monday to Friday. But
he trained at Bolton, didn't he? Yeah.
But Big Sam said, I don't care about training because it's Saturday afternoon, 3 till 5, where he earns his money and my money and the club's money.
Yeah.
If you don't train all week, that's fine. I don't want him fantastic in training for 60 minutes. I want him on the Saturday afternoon. Are we doing the same? Or are we saying, look, this is training. It's everyone. It's one size fits all. It's the way it is. Because certain players, once they develop soft tissue injuries, I mean, I read a report the other day about an American football player who said, under 30, if you get a groin or a hamstring, you're fine. You're young. You can bounce back. Over 30, hang on. Now it's more serious.
There you go with Ward, you know. Ward's been good so far. It's an Achilles. He's 35. Now, if he's 25, you're thinking, yeah, possibly. We think Vincent Young's got an Achilles. We're not sure what's going on there. But Stephen Ward, you know, he's got an Achilles. He left the game in a boot yesterday, said. And you're thinking he was injured. He was injured at Stoke. He had a back injury there. Played 13 games, I think, last season or something. So I'm really hoping it's not going to be... They said, it didn't look bad. And then it turns out to be 3 months and we don't see him this side of Christmas.
That's what I'm expecting, actually. Do you know what I mean? As Ipswich fans, I think we have to expect that. Anything else is good. If we see him before Christmas, it'll be a bonus, I think. He did walk off the pitch okay, didn't he? I noticed he went round the side.
He tried to play on, didn't he?
Yeah.
He pinged that ball, didn't he? Just before he went off from left to right. He played that long ball and you're thinking, if you've got an Achilles, surely they'd have had him straight off. If it was that bad.
You'd have thought.
Maybe he said I could try and run in. I mean, maybe you got a kick on it. We don't know. And that's And that's kind of the point here by Emerson Fairweather. There's no communication. We don't know. Nobody tries to find out on our behalf. You know, I can't get anywhere near a press conference to find out. If I could, I'd be asking hard questions. But nobody wants to really sort of dig in and find out. Like Jackson, back training for what, 2 weeks now? 3 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Can't he play 60 minutes? Can't he play half hour? I mean,
touching on them vouchers, Matt, people still not got them. If you haven't collected them from the shop, you're still waiting for them to be posted out.
Really? Have they still got staff on furlough at the town? Do we know that?
Okay.
We don't know, do we?
Hang on. How long does it take for someone to go down the post office and just whack a few letters in the box?
Yeah.
At this point, though, that shouldn't really matter at this point because we're back playing games. They're selling advertising. They're selling all sorts.
Yeah.
If you can't function a business without bringing staff off furlough, well, guess what? Bring them off furlough because you need to function as a club, as a community, and all sorts. But obviously, injuries lead us on to a question. Miles Kenlock, chance or no chance?
Played with 9, didn't we?
Talk to me about Miles Kenlock. Chance or no chance?
You saw him running back on that goal, didn't you? I mean, he's got a weird running style anyway, Miles. But it didn't look like he was absolutely busting himself to get back into defence there, was he?
Well, I can't blame him for the goal if that's what we're trying to say here. He's pressing on the halfway line. The goal for me is Andre, and I'll pick that up later on this podcast. But as a holding midfield player, I think if I haven't got the clip, but if you highlight the clip, Andre is in the gap between the centre half and the midfield. He's got to suddenly switch on that Chambo's been pulled in, and that guy at the back post is free. That's your role as a holding midfield player. If nothing's in front of you, what's behind me? What's going to threaten my goal?
Yeah.
Well, Wilson got dragged over, didn't he, with a cross? And then Soto's come. Chambers, I thought he was a little bit
slipped.
of fault. It was a bit of a sort of a catalogue of errors, wasn't it? I think every goal that anyone concedes, we could pick apart and say he should have done this, he should have been there. It was coming.
They got lucky
that goal was
break
coming, Matt.
didn't they?
Yeah, that goal was coming though, wasn't it?
It was a little bit. Yeah, I mean, and as we said yesterday, the knife in the back was the fact that the fella who scored it probably shouldn't have been on the pitch. We have to take MK Dons' radio coverage for that because didn't they say, Martin? They said he should have got a red, Harvey.
I believe so. I read on Twitter that apparently they did. They said he should have had a red card. It was nice to see actually the fourth official get involved. I've never seen him get involved ever.
But I don't understand what he said because if he's kicked him or if he's stood on him, it's a red.
But we don't know. We didn't really see it.
No, we don't. No.
But he did. So once he gets involved and says, look, I've seen this, you have to make a decision as a referee. And saying I didn't see it, so I can't do it is not good enough because you've booked the guy. So if you've booked him, you've felt it strong enough from your official, who, by the way, they're all referees. It's not like it's Joe Bloggs out of the stands who's just got a certificate. You know, he's a fully qualified referee. If he's seen something, you know, you're a referee yourself.
If the referee got injured, he would take over in the middle.
Yeah, exactly.
So
back to Kenlock.
Back to Kenlock. Sorry. Look, he's 3 managers in now. Mick McCarthy, Paul Hurst, Paul Lambert. None of them fancy him, Martin. You know, he's on the fringes of the team. We said yesterday, I think Jordan touched on it, Josh Emanuel, he went out and he's playing football. He's had a promotion at Rotherham. Now he's playing for Hull. Kenlock's kicking around.
He went to Bolton, didn't he, Emmanuel? He looked like I thought he would drift into the non-league game after that move, and suddenly he now finds himself higher spot than that's in the division.
But he's took it upon himself. He's probably they've said there's no place for you here, and he's gone out and found some football, Matt, which Miles Kenlock needs to do. He's 24 now, I believe. No good him sitting on the bench playing a little bit here and there.
Did your heart sink when Ward was injured yesterday and they brought Kenlock
massively. I'm thinking,
big time.
It's like for me, it's like, you know, going down Waitrose to get your shopping, finding it shut. You're having to drive around a bit and you found a Lidl. It's going to do for essentials. You can have your milk on your cornflakes in the morning, but it all feels a little bit unsatisfactory.
I'd rather put Edwards there. I'd rather put Edwards at left back.
Well, that was a possibility, but just on the milk, don't kid us, Matt. We all know you're a Cornish or a Channel Islands dairy Waitrose speciality £4 a pop bottle of milk. You ain't going to be having any old rubbish. I've got Jacob Farrow on Facebook. No chance on Kenlock. Sorry, but there's a reason Lambert doesn't trust him. I've got Josh Bolton Vlogs. Kenlock Bambi on ice also takes too many chances at the back. So,
I mean, what does the future now hold? Because let's now say that Ward is going to be out for a couple of months.
Do we want?
I'll touch on that later when I've
To me, there's going to be other options. So Donasian, okay, he's got this reputation as being a right back or a centre half.
Played left back at Accrington Stanley when you went on loan. Played left back.
He's played 66 times for Accrington Stanley as a left back. So it's not an alien position to him. So I'll be thinking of that.
Exactly.
We got it in.
Nonsense.
Sorry, carry on.
Our new man, Keenan Bennett. Keenan Bennett can play left back. Done it before.
You don't bring a Rolls Royce in to do a banger racer's job. Come on.
Needs must at the moment.
Tommy Smith.
Tommy Smith 2.0. Corey Garber, left-sided player. He's played on left side before. Tristan Nydam, remember he played left back in that game at Crystal Palace?
Not played no football, Matt.
These options, these are all options unpreferable to Kedlock. This is what I'm trying to say.
I'd go with back three, surely. You've got McGuinness who can play football.
Well,
You've got Wilson and Tote.
Yeah.
You got Wilson and Tote. Yeah, I think because it mitigates Miles Kenlock's mistakes. The same way I'd play a 3-5-2 with Janai Donasian in the right back, because these players they have their moments. A bit like Toto, have their moments.
So Keenan could play that left wing back role.
Yeah, you could play Bennett as the left winger.
The right role then. William
Edwards.
Yeah. And then you can slide Chamber inside. So I mean that's not Chamber.
Do you know what I think that's going to happen? I think that's the preferable option. Why don't they just try it on Tuesday night?
Well, they might well do, but I've seen people on Twitter saying, "Oh no, a formation change already." I think in football you can't be rigid and say we're a 4-3-3 team regardless. You've got to be flexible. You've got to look at your bit of paper and say, "How do I get the best out of this bunch?" You might want Downs, you might want Jackson, you might want Norwood. You ain't got them. So how do you get the best out of this? And yesterday, quite frankly, 1-1 away from home to a team that hasn't won a game is ridiculous.
Yeah.
To not win that game is ridiculous. I'm sorry. Paul Lambert didn't do me any favours.
Ridiculous, darling.
Well, don't start me. So, Judge, I've got a Judge clip, and then we'll talk about Alan Judge, because he's a player that's like Marmite at the moment. He really, really.
I think after today, I think we'll be happy that we came away with a point. Yeah, it's a bit hard, but I think they found it harder to get through us when we went down to 10 men. Funny enough, I think that happens quite a lot when teams go down to 10 men. They narrow up quite a lot, and I think we did that quite well. I thought the back lads were brilliant. I thought Toto, Willow, Chambo, Kenny when he came out. I thought they were great. They were making good headers, clearing the ball well. They've been brilliant so far. Yeah, definitely, especially after the way we finished last year. We didn't finish it the way we wanted to, obviously the virus and stuff like that. But we've had a good start, and these will cause teams problems. They play very good football, and we might have got away with one today, but maybe last year we would have lost that. But I thought all the lads showed good resilience.
Did we get away with one?
Big time.
Yeah, we probably did. We didn't play very well.
Better team we'd have lost, Matt. Better team we'd have lost yesterday, wouldn't we?
Better strikers in that team would have beaten us.
Yeah, definitely.
They passed the ball around nicely, but they had no cutting edge.
Alan Judge them. Marmite.
Well, I'm wondering why you made this point yesterday, didn't you, Rich, on the show? Why didn't he come on? I'd have stuck Jackson on for a bit of pace on Keogh.
Right. We just said about Kenlock. Now, don't rate him, but if you're playing him and you're playing Alan Judge in front of him on the left of midfield or left-sided of a front three, he doesn't help out, does he? He goes wandering. If you look up the phrase, Matt, headless chicken in the dictionary, you will see a picture of Alan Judge, because that is what he is. That is what he is. We said it last week. He would be one now with the salary cap. I'd be looking to move on. I really would.
Yeah, we did say it, yeah.
Who would take him? Because Mark Warburton's not coming back in for him.
Lower end of the championship, someone would take him. He's still an international player. Plays for Ireland.
He's on his way down. He's on his way down. In our best 11, he wouldn't play. He wouldn't get in there. Where'd you play him? He's not a wide player.
The thing is, he must be given license to roam by Lambert, because you must think a Lambert would either say, "Look, you're staying there or you're not playing," so it must be a conversation between player and manager.
He's a
trusting player.
His most played position at Brentford, which is where his kind of career is. He's more famous for his career. Was left midfield. That's where he played most of his games. So he's a left-sided player. But I just think they should have bought Jackson on just to test Keogh. You said it yesterday, didn't you? He's played 7 minutes of football.
I think Lambert's gone full circle, hasn't he, with the substitution. So last year he was going too early, too late. But this season he's by 55, 60 minutes. He's used all his subs up. He's left. Look, we could all say Flynn Downs. Look, it's unlucky you've got an injury there. You've left yourself wide open. You've got no subs.
It's easy to say that.
Martin said it yesterday about Jackson. You know, they had Richard Keogh and Dean Lewington at the back, 2 absolute cart horses. They really are. And did we attack them once with pace?
No.
Get at them?
No,
they had an easy game.
Dean Lewington is older than Keogh.
I think he's played. Has he played 750 games? I think.
He's
He's been there 16 years now.
Yeah.
You get at them. You with pace. You run at them.
We never pressed him, did we?
You see what Edwards done. The one time he ran at them, ran down the left, cutting.
Yeah.
And then he should have had a shot, and he went for a pass. But that was probably the one time in the game where we drove at them, and that is, I've said it before on here. We are so one-paced, our team. We've got no. It's easy to play against us. It's easy to set up.
Do you want a crunch and tackle?
Yeah, go for it.
Crunching Tackle in association with Networking 90. Don't let your business suffer the crunch. Brunel launches October 20th. Head to www.networking90.co.uk for more information.
I love that. Right, Crunching Tackle this week is Paul Lambert and no plan B. It was a game there yesterday, and I know Flynn Downs got injured. Fair enough. We had to play with 10 for the last 30 minutes. It was a game there yesterday, crying out, I thought, Matt, for a change of formation. Mm-hmm. I've been had a bit of back and forth on Twitter this morning, people saying we can't bin the 4-3-3. I'm not saying that. Most teams have a way of playing, and I'm not against that. I thought, look, we played a bit better football in the game so far, but you cannot be one-dimensional. These teams will work you out. They'll know what you've got, and it'll be all too easy to play against. You know, yesterday I thought, second half, Jackson upside alongside Hawkins, you know, get the flicks. Jackson running with his speed. 2 aging defenders there. And I think you could go 4-4-2, 3-5-2. I wouldn't be against that with 3 centre-backs and play wing-backs. But we can't go just through the season where we're saying it's going to be 4-3-3 all the way. Jackson has to get in that team somewhere. For me, you cannot have a player who scores 11 goals, 7 assists. You cannot have him. Our strikers haven't scored a goal yet. Hawkins has done well with what I've seen, but he ain't going to score many goals. You can't rely on your midfield all the time. Look, Nolan's got 3 already. Bishop's got a couple. It's good, the midfield are scoring, but I don't think you can have a player who scored 11 goals. Look, if we'd have finished the season, he probably would have got 16, 17, you'd have thought. Nearer 10 assists. Yes. You can't be losing them goals. He has to be in that team somewhere, whether you play him as one of your wide front 3 or if you change formation and he comes in.
No, I totally agree with you. I think we should have done 3-5-2 yesterday in the second half because we were getting overrun, weren't we? And that lad we all rated in their midfield, number 8, Kamusu. He had too much time on the ball. He was putting nice little slide rule passes through. So you just pack the midfield, don't you, with the 3-5-2, and it still gives you license to get forward. Because all the goals are coming from midfield anyway. And then Hawkins was like, they were sending those balls up to him. It was annoying me a little bit. Wilson was sending long balls. We're trying
Who for hope, Matt?
Yeah, shout out Johnny Duncan.
But I think we play too deep. I think we're too deep. We need to. I agree with you. Bristol Rovers, we were pressing them, weren't we? We were getting right in there. Yeah. Have you seen it? Have you seen it since then? No.
Not really. No.
We were too. The way we started both halves. I know we scored the first goal. That was against the runner play. I said at half-time yesterday, what we need to do is come out. We've got to be on the front foot, and we've got to go for that second goal. And what happened? They pushed us back, and then they got the equaliser, and it wasn't a surprise when they scored, was it?
No, it wasn't. He was coming. Yeah, I mean, look, the ball was going up to Hawkins, and he's heading it into space. There's no one there, and that is the drawback, isn't it? Because everyone was sat back a little bit more. He had no one to pass. So even if he got the ball, he had no one to pass to.
I know. Look, he was a bit isolated when we went to 10. I thought he played his best football then, Martin, when we went to 10 men. I thought he'd done quite well. He held the ball up well. But he's a player. If you're going to play him, like you say, he's a space eater. If you play him, you've got to get them 2 wide players have got to get close to him. Edwards yesterday, Sears was okay, but he's still average. They've got to do a lot better.
But equally, we saw a glimpse of it. But equally, you need your midfield to be forward thinking. And sometimes, I mean, that midfield yesterday, and this leads on to my takeaway with Andre. That midfield yesterday, you had a creative maybe spark in Andre Dozel that likes to spread the ball about. John Nolan is your recycler. I'm not really sure what role away from home, particularly Teddy Bishop, is fulfilling in that midfield. You would think getting runs past Hawkins, and we saw a glimpse of that in the first half. But John Nolan didn't do what he should have done. Didn't pull the trigger. Instead, he touched it, turned around, and kept recycle. Didn't play that risky pass. In that midfield of 3 away from home, in any formation, you need a dirty player. You need a player that's going to take their player.
We ain't got one. We've not got any,
Exactly.
have we?
No, we haven't. Even Cole Skuse is not that type of player. You need the nitty, the gritty, the firefighter, somebody who's going to go around, a bit like Flynn Downs, really, work rate, win the ball, give it to Andre, and he can start dictating.
It's funny to say that. When we played, I think it was Fleetwood at home, when we lost 1-0 just before it all shut down, they had Glenn Whelan in midfield. He's the ideal player. Someone like him who's been about, knows the game, knows what he's got to do. He might foul someone in the middle of the pitch, take a yellow card. It's a good foul, you know.
Well, that's why I like to...
We said this in the summer, didn't we? You need that kind of League 1, League 2 style enforcer. Someone like an Alan McCormack who's gone to Southend, a bit over the hill now, but knows the game at that level.
We're too nice. We're too nice in that middle of the pitch, aren't we? They're all, I said before, they're 3 good footballers. They're good on the ball, they pass the ball, they keep the ball. But no one's going to kick someone up in the air, are they?
Well, no, that's why I was so pleased in the first minute when Andre put their bloke up in the air.
Yeah,
I know he didn't quite mean it, but I thought, well, hey, tasty, we're in for a good one, baby.
They kept Andre quiet yesterday, didn't they? I did think maybe in the second half you could have taken him off and just put Hughes in there just for a bit of physicality, because that's where we were losing the game in the midfield. Where we were
I
losing
think Andre, though, at this stage of his career, is still a little bit easy to play. You need to just lean on him a bit. Make it so the referee doesn't... Well, exactly. And being a young lad, when the referee doesn't give him the decision that he wants or deserves, you can kind of maybe hide a little bit. And yesterday, at times, Andre was
He's
missing.
still learning. Still learning, isn't he? He's learning.
I always remember a player called John Eustace, played for Watford, but towards the end of his career, they only ever brought him on or started him, A, away from home, or B, when they were winning and they wanted to hold a lead. We need that type of player, a player who knows, I'm not going to play every week. I'm not here to play every week. I'm just here to hold a lead.
Are they going out the game, though? Are they going out the game, them sort of players? Because now it's like everyone's got footballers in their teams, haven't they?
Yeah. But you can do
both.
Are
they a dying breed? Oh, yeah, I totally agree.
You can really do both. But yesterday, Andre didn't play well, so we didn't play well. Bishop, for me, isn't away from home type of player.
Passenger.
And John Nolan, I'm still struggling. Really, I know he scored, but I'm still struggling to really see, apart from a Luke Hine recycler, what he really brings. Like, I mean, it's good to see him in the box. Don't get me wrong, and I'll keep eating the John Nolan crow, much as it hurts.
We've got some breaking news in the chat here, boys. Paul Hedger, Town playing Blackpool on Saturday.
They said it. Yeah, they did say it was going to be. I think it was the 14th of November.
Oh.
And their game's been cancelled against Sunderland, I think, Saturday. So obviously now, with no fans, it's easy to change a game, isn't it?
Schedule the games out. Is that a home game then?
No,
yes,
away.
Is it
away? I think it's away. Yeah, I think it's away.
Bloomfield Road on Saturday, 10th of October at 3 p.m. The fixture was originally scheduled for Saturday 14th.
Okay.
I'm not too sure that's a good move by us.
We could have done with a rest, no?
Who's it down to? Are both clubs?
Well, you both got to agree, haven't you?
Is it down to the... I don't know.
You've both got to agree. I don't think that's a good move. Personally, I would have said thanks, but no thanks.
See you later. We'll see you in November.
I'm saving myself 10 quid anyway because I'm running the line for Great Shelford on Saturday, Matt. So I'll be out the loop. 10 quid saved, 25 quid up in the...
Yeah, where were we? Midfield?
A few comments. We've got JT. It's clear that Hawkins needs at least one person with him.
Yes.
Otherwise, the work he's doing, holding the ball, flicking it on, is just going to waste.
Massively.
Paul Hedger, Town playing Blackpool. We're just seeing that. Thank you, Paul. On Facebook, we've got Danny Allen. Agree. 4-4-2 when we need a goal. Mark 4, so we'll play 3-5-2. It also says, pack the midfield against teams like MK Dons. Lee Brown, midfield 2 lightweight yesterday. So mostly agreeing in regards to the post-mortem of yesterday. 35 minutes into the podcast, let's move our focus onto the rest of the week because it was a busy week. It was an eventful week. We've got some goats. Let's get that goats fired up. Here we go. Are you a business owner? Maybe COVID-19's got your goat. Well, Networking 90 can help. Head to www.networking90.co.uk for more information. We've got two goats with Matt's goats coming up in bit. Do you want to go first, Rich, with Mr. James Norwood?
Oh, God. I'm going to put a tin out on.
I was just before that, Matt, we were on about Hawkins, and I remember something you posted in the week. Mitch Davray. He reminds me of him.
Yes. Yeah. He used to annoy me, Dad, Mitch Davray. He used to moan if he was in the team. But yeah, he's very similar. He played that role now. You're right.
Yeah, James Norwood. I think we've all seen his antics. Look, I'm not. The guy took the picture of him. We've all got camera phones now when we're out and about.
Yeah.
James Norwood, he's a nobody when you think of it. In the world of Ipswich Town, he might be. He's a bit of a big fish. But that guy, he's really done nothing wrong, has he? He could have gone up to him and asked him, James, can I have a picture? He's took a picture. I probably would have done the same. Probably posted it. I'd have probably put it on the group and it'd have gone on Twitter. I just think his reaction where he's come out, he's getting a bit personal with the guy. Not very professional of him. I don't care if he's out having a meal, if he's shopping in Tesco's, if he's putting his bins out. James Norwood, he's representing Ipswich Town. And I'll say it, I'll come out and say, I don't think he's very professional. I think, I've said before, I think when he came back, he hasn't looked fit, Matt. He doesn't look fit to me. They said, they'll say that he couldn't have the rehab, when it was a shutdown. Hang on. You can go out. You can buy yourself a running machine. Look after yourself. That is your career. That is his craft, his body. He's got to look after himself better. And it says to me now, James Norwood, he's 30, isn't he now? This is I think he's 30, isn't he? Mm-hmm. This is the biggest club he's ever going to play for. It says to me, why has he never played at a high level? Is he not professional enough? If he's banging the goals in left, right and centre, I think he can get away with it a little bit. Being on social media, we can all, oh yeah, that's James Norwood. When he's not playing football and he's paid a lot of money, and I think you said, Martin, in the chat on Wednesday night, if you're getting paid $8,000 a week, you would be nowhere near social media. There is no need for it, but he just can't help himself. Climbing in windows, smashing his car window. I tell you what, get him fit and get him out the club in January. Get rid of him. We're getting nothing out of him. We're getting nothing out of him. He was our marquee signing last year, and I've just grown tired of it. I really have.
He's kind of like a Gaza character, isn't he? He doesn't seem to...
Without the quality.
He seems to love this kind of like Joker side of him, which what social media brings, right? Because back in the day, you didn't really have an idea what players were like.
He can get away with it at Tranmere, Matt. He can get away with it at Tranmere because Tranmere are a lot smaller club than Ipswich.
Yeah.
They are. I'm not being disrespectful to Tranmere.
They're a league team, mate.
Yeah. We're Ipswich Town. We're Ipswich Town. We've won trophies in Europe, We've had 2 England managers. We've got 3 stars on our shirt. I expect... Look, and there was a lot of people on Twitter saying, oh, he's done nothing wrong, he's giving a bit back. They deserve it. Not for me. He's not very professional. Look, you'd have David Beckham. David Beckham he's a much better player than James Norwood will ever be. He was out. He'd have the paparazzi following him around, snapping him. Did he ever react? No. Because he's a professional.
It's hard to disagree with any of that, to be honest with you, isn't it? I wouldn't take a photo of an Ipswich Town player in a restaurant and post it. I don't think I would. I have to question the mentality of having.
What's he doing out? What's he doing out then? Because he knows he's injured, right? The club haven't announced it.
It can be allowed out.
No, listen. Let me finish. The club haven't announced it. It was on the Wednesday. That didn't come out till Thursday morning. All he's got to do that night is think, right, I'm going to stay at home because he goes out in Stowmarket. There's going to be Ipswich fans in there. There's going to be people in there eating who are Town fans. They've seen his crutches. They've got talking. It's on social media. Paul Lambert must be thinking, oh, not him again. I think he's had enough of him.
Maybe.
His comments in sort of pre-season saying he's got to prove himself and all that. I think reading between the lines, I think he's had enough of him. I really do.
Well, maybe yes.
Yeah, maybe. I've got some comments here. Norwood, if he was fit and playing every week, would score goals for us from JT. I've got on Facebook, Mark Forster. Norwood, time he went to Dundee United, went in for swapping for Terry Butcher's son. That's the player we need in midfield. Look, whether he's on social media or not, I don't care, quite frankly. He can be on there. I'd rather if he was on there, he was a force for good. That's my point. Be kind, okay? He went in on a guy that didn't take the picture, wasn't in the restaurant, had nothing to do with it, just made a comment. This guy came back to him with a comment. If you are earning any amount of money, but on a platform, hey, this is a platform. We've had abuse thrown at us from all different directions. Matt over there has been called this, that, and the other. When he comes back, my God, the reaction. When James Norwood comes back, it's, oh, any good? No. You're a pro player. You don't know this guy. You've called him whatever you've called him. You brought attention to whatever body part you brought attention to that maybe you didn't agree with, didn't like, thought it broke fun at. Where's the be kind in that? Where's the nice knee? This guy was nothing to do with it. That for me lost me straight away. I don't want it.
I know you're a big fan of him. You've been a big fan of him, Martin. You've banged his drum, but I totally agree with you. I'm with you there.
On the pitch, be an absolute chunt. I don't care. But on social media, be a force for good or don't be on that. That's just my opinion, because you're a pro player. People will look at you and emulate you. People will, of a young age, will think that's acceptable. We're now trying to move towards a society where it's not acceptable.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it wasn't a great comment he got off that supporter, but then he kind of went out of his way to caption up a meme or an image or something. And that's ridiculous.
Yeah, but I made you apologise for much less.
Yeah.
You know, and you're not earning any money from this. So I felt a little bit, and the same people who made you apologise were also saying, oh, good old Norwood got him on strings.
Yeah.
Get
He
lost.
must have Norwood must have better things to be doing than having back and forth with Ipswich.
I bloody would on £8 a week. Trust me. Me.
You don't need social media in your life as a footballer. You don't need
I want to know. The true story is, did he go for the Prezzo winter deal? 3 courses for 12 quid? Or did he pay, and who paid? How was the bill split?
Did Guillon? Did he pick up the bill? Because he was having... Was he having pasta? Did he have pasta?
We don't know. I don't think we have a Prezzo in Chumps anymore. There's one in Billericay. Shout out to them from earlier.
Shout out Billericay. Right. My goat. I want to just mention this. It's not really a go. It's more of a what's blown up over the last 24 hours in terms of social media on fans. Fans are saying, oh, the moaners are out again. And then some fans are saying, how can people be happy clapping yesterday's performance? And I just wanted to say very quickly that it's okay to do both. It's okay to be a negative, if you want to call them negatives, on yesterday's game, because yesterday wasn't good enough. We are Ipswich Town Football Club. MK Dons hadn't won a game, and we should have won the game, regardless of 10, 8, 9, whatever meant. We didn't. To say those people are negative and they shouldn't be having their opinion is wrong. Equally, it's okay to be positive. Some people's glass is half full and some is half empty. Yesterday, you could look at it and go, unbeaten, played with 10 men, came through it unscathed, apart from the injuries. We're still okay. But it's okay to do both. Let's just respect each other.
It's football, isn't it? Everyone's got an opinion.
Yeah. And I just don't like the negative stuff. Like, I don't like the associating names with people. Like, you can be negative, you can be happy. Let's just support the club. And if that's your opinion, that's your opinion. But that's just my 2 pence worth. I don't like seeing it.
You also have to take into account we're playing 46 league games. We're not going to win every single game. Don't get into this Arsenal fan culture where you just turn up and think, right, we're here for the match. 3 points in the bag.
I think you did say last week, Matt, 1-1.
I think I should. I don't think I was as mystic Matt as that, but I did think it might be a draw.
That is me. That is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Your
valid.
opinion's right or wrong, is it?
No one's more qualified unless they're an ex-pro than anybody else. But I can show you my badges if you like. So to prove I'm right about everything, especially John Nolan. So where do you want to go now? We've got Media Mogul. Let's go Media Mogul. Not had that yet. Let's do that.
Okay.
The Media Mogul story in association with Networking 90. Don't be left in the dark. Get networking. Head to www.networking90.co.uk for more information.
I really think Martin's wasted. He should be doing voiceovers on the radio. Fantastic, isn't it? Endorsements. Right. Well, this leads on nicely from what we were just talking about, James Norwood, kind of crossroad moments. And I noticed this week in the media, J. Emmanuel Thomas is back on the scene. A blast from the past, 8-9 years ago. Jet, signed for Livingston. And I think to myself, and I used to have this debate when I worked at Wembley. We used to have this debate quite a lot because Jet went through the England youth system. And you know what? I always think he was like just 5% away from improving himself from playing for England when he was in the Arsenal setup. He had pace. He could cross the ball on a sixpence. He could take free kicks. He could take corners. He could shoot with both feet. I think the game came too easily to him, and therefore he didn't have the desire to improve that 5% to, he needed to stay within the Arsenal system, which is why he ended up with us. Then he went to Bristol City in League One, 15 goals, I think 12 assists. And he's just kind of dropped off the radar since. I think that's a really I'm glad he's getting a second chance because he's only 28, 29.
Where else has he been? Did he go to? He went to QPR, didn't he?
He went to QPR. He had a little spell in Thailand. He played at Gillingham, but he just had it all. He had that package. He had it all. And I really think he could have just marginal improvements in his game, and he would have been like Victor Moses, who's played for Chelsea, who's played for Liverpool, who's played for Fenerbahce, he's played for Inter Milan. Those two were neck and neck coming through the England youth systems. There's no difference between them.
Do you remember he had a picture with Glenn? Is it Glenn Toplin? No, the Billericay chairman at the time. Do you remember that? Yeah. Do you remember that? And then it was like he quickly posted, "I'm not signing for Billericay." He quickly distanced himself. His clubs have been Arsenal, Blackpool, Doncaster, Cardiff, Ipswich, Bristol City, Queen's Park Rangers, MK Dons 4 games, Gillingham 28 games, and then we went to Rangong and then Livingston.
So that's where he is now. He didn't. They played Friday, so he didn't feature in that. He's still getting his fitness back. But it comes back down to that Norwood thing. Don't let that talent go to waste.
I was going to say, if Norwood's a 10, Jet's a 20, right? On the whole.
Oh, Miles better player, wasn't he?
Yeah, but antics.
Yeah. I used to like Jet. I remember West Ham. He took him apart, didn't he? That night.
It was 5-1.
5-1, scored 2.
Fantastic.
2 past Rob Green.
The game just came too easily to him, I think. To improve.
It's a lot of desire in it. I think he's probably, you can have all the talent in the world, Matt. But if you're not going to work hard, you ain't going to get anywhere.
Now,
I was going to say, managers want J-Tab type players, 6 out of 10 every single week with the occasional man of the match. J-Manuel Thomas is a 8 out of 10 or a 3 out of 10. There's never really seems to be. I
remember when he signed, went to Colchester for a friendly. Who's this Jet? We signed Jet from Arsenal. It's like, blimey, look at this. Was it Paul Jewell? Paul Jewell signed, didn't he? Yeah,
Paul Jewell signed some good players. Remember, he got DJ Camblin, who scored a hatful for us.
Oh, what a player!
But I mean, he was a victim of Mick McCarthy when he Jet, because Mick's all about functionality over flair. He
6 out of 10s.
He wanted Douglas. He wanted Skews. He didn't want Jet. But then another name came up this week. Another blast from the past. The Talking Town time machine has come to the pod here. Kundai Benyu. Remember him? Now that was a player who was very highly thought of in our academy system.
Went to Celtic.
He had a cup of tea.
Exactly.
Didn't he?
We were trying really hard to keep him, and his head was turned at Celtic, and he ended up signing now. I think he even, as a 16-year-old, was on the bench against Norwich at Carrow Road one year. I think going back maybe 2015, 16, something like that. He went to Celtic, played 4 times for them, a couple of times in the Champions League qualifiers. This week, he has signed for Wealdstone in the National League. So there you go.
No fans. You got no fans.
Yeah. Again, a really highly thought of player within our academy. We tried to keep him. He's gone to Celtic. He's now playing non-league football. So there you go. So we've talked about Norwood being at a crossroads.
How old is he now, Matt? How old is he, Benyu? Can't be very old.
22?
Yeah, he might have to drop down again to come back again. You don't know.
Maybe.
But that is a bit of off the radar, a little bit. Celtic to Wealdstone.
It really is. Crossroad moments, mate.
He is 22 years of age, born in 1997. Yeah, he had a spell at loan on Helsingborgs, played 10 games there. Loan at Oldham.
Did you go?
I didn't go there.
What a night. What a great night that was. Yeah, brilliant.
3-1, wasn't it?
3-1. Herman scored. Marcus Stewart got 2.
He's on BBC Two.
I'll tell you another player that's dropped, doesn't drop down, but obviously left us after being highly rated. Went to Aldershot. The name escapes me all of a sudden, but he's a midfield player. Adam McDonnell.
Yeah, he was a good player.
He was highly rated, and he came, and obviously went on loan, and they've kept hold of him. Got an Aldershot friend, they rave about him. But yeah, so 2 players on the move that are ex-Town connections. Interesting. Hopefully we see a couple of players arrive at Town. So let's move on to the last portion of the show. We look at Tuesday night's fixture. I've got Paul Lambert, and then I've got Matt Phillips with a B in his bonnet. Okay, here you go.
We will play younger ones, without a doubt, because we have so many injuries. The crazy decisions playing an EFL trophy game, which in my opinion should never have been played due to the pandemic. Sacrifice the tournament, because there's not just us, I'm pretty sure that all the teams in the division would say the same. It's too many games. You've got another 6 games in there, so the younger ones have to play, and I'll make no apologies for it, because we have to look after the first team.
Talk to me, Mr. Phillips. What's wrong?
It's just this fact that, we're a football club and we're football players and I'm a football manager moaning about playing football games. Do you know what I mean? It's like a postman saying he's got too many letters to deliver. You're a postman. You deliver letters. You're footballers. You play football matches. That is the point and the existence of Ipswich Town Football Club.
Do we not feel a little bit guilty? As a little bit sorry for him, sorry.
You want a trip to Wembley? That's where you want to go.
He cited 50 plus games this season in a 35-week season, right? That's not even 2 games a week. There's going to be blank weeks in there at some point.
I agree with him.
I just find it ludicrous. Now, let's go back in the Talking Town time machine. Ipswich Town, 1981, April. Bobby Robson's Ipswich played 8 games. Because we're competing on so many fronts, we played 8 games in the month of April. We played the UEFA Cup semi-final against Cologne and the Manchester City FA Cup semi-final at Villa Park 3 days apart.
How many players did we use that season, Matt? Because it wasn't very many. 15, 14. One substitute they had then.
We'll have to get Renegade Statman to tell us. But it can't have been more than 15, 16. Can't have been.
Well, apologies to anybody who's wearing headphones because that was incredibly high, Matthew. Lee Brown could not give a single toss about Tuesday. I happen to agree with him.
Totally agree. Waste of time.
Okay, then. So this comes to the second part of my game then.
Playing.
If no one's giving a toss about the game, why have we got to pay a tenner?
It's not the club's.
EFL tell you to.
Yeah, not the club's
Okay,
decision.
here's the third part of my game. Why are we on iFollow? We don't have to be on iFollow, and we could set our own charges. Look at Harrogate Town. Come up from non-league. They're not on iFollow. Set their own fees for games and their streams.
Because we're a cookie cutter. It's all nice and easy. It's always a template. It's all done for you.
I said to you earlier on WhatsApp, didn't I? So I've paid. So I'm watching a league game, right? I've put my voucher in. You got
steam coming out your ears.
Yeah.
I put me voucher in. So that saved me a tenner. I'm still 15 quid out of pocket. So why can't the club just give us a voucher for the EFL trophy? Why not? Because the club don't want to play it.
Don't start me on Marcus Evans giving money out.
Lambert don't want to play it. Sounds like the players don't want to play it. But the club is still punting it towards us.
I was chatting to someone on Twitter, I think it was Friday or last night, Matt, about saying that they didn't agree with paying for away games and then saying there was like a multiple season tickets in their family. Now that I don't agree with. When you say you got 4 season tickets in your household, you only need one iFollow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But I suppose, look, it's
ludicrous.
It's difficult because it's not just an Ipswich Town problem. This is across the board, isn't it? It'll be interesting to see what they do to compensate the fans because, say, it's probably going to be March until we get fans back, if at all. How will they get?
I just think iFollow is a bit rubbish for me. I'd just rather we had something bespoke. You boys know I really like La Liga. I subscribe to La Liga TV. I subscribe to Barcelona TV as well. That's 30 quid for the year. You got whole documentary. It's like the Netflix of Barcelona football. You got documentaries there, interviews with players, documentaries of the players. 30 quid.
You know them kickoff times. You know them kickoff times in Spain. Does that cointide with what time you have your dinner?
I should have been Spanish.
Yeah.
Even later.
You shop at Waitrose. You pay for Barcelona TV. You pay for La Liga. You pay for Sky Sports. I probably would.
ET Sport as well for my UFC.
Flipping heck! How much?
This is where I'm going this week. I'm back in Harrods this week. I'll send you the selfie.
JT, I think the issue, and this is truly true from JT, he makes a great point. Cheers, JT. I think the issues regarding the EFL trophy games are the injuries we have. If we didn't have a massive sick list, he probably wouldn't be that bothered.
He's a bit. Look, the competition is beneath us, really, because it's League One, League Two.
Can we forfeit?
We shouldn't be in that tier, should we? So I do feel like it's beneath Ipswich Town Football Club, but we're in it. They know before the season starts they've got to have to play those games.
Don't forget, Martin's. Hang on, we got a show here to sell on Tuesday. We got Talking Town match day ticket. Come on, join in. Don't say it's not worth it. I want to see
if we play Keenan Bennett. In which case, I'll probably.
I'm not actually going to pay. Are you paying for the game on Tuesday? Because I'm not going to. I won't be back. I've got football training, so I wouldn't be back in time now. It's 7:00, so I don't think I'm not going to bother.
Everyone got the opportunity last time.
I'll watch Martin's show anyway.
Yeah.
Well, there's no bloody point now, is there? Matt's just thrown it under the bus. Flipping heck, I've got to try and revive it now. It's flat as a pancake. Matt, you've already told me Tuesday is your lovely wife's birthday. So what are you complaining about? You'll be watching it anyway.
She has told me that if I want to see the game, I can because it's 7:00. I've got permission.
Happy day.
I'll see you
at 6:30. Match day ticket live with me and Matt Phillips. There we go. Jobs are good and job's done. Lovely.
Who's even going to be in the team? Oh God!
I can tell you the team now. It'll be Cornell. It'll be Donassi.
I'll come on and give a rendition to your wife. I'll sing "Happy Birthday, Matt" for you. There you go.
There we go. Right.
Enjoy that.
3 comments coming in. I've got somehow Adam Flatt's been let out of the country. He's in Oregon, USA, watching. Yeah, I know. Mick Muller would rather stand outside the ground than watch an iFollow. Fair point.
A lot of people's weren't working yesterday as well. I've seen that.
Yeah, we've got to
That's
sort
not
that out.
That's not great, is it?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll pledge on behalf of the podcast, I will take that up with the club myself for all of those
It's not
people.
the club. I see Dan said this morning.
That's too easy, in my opinion.
You've got
to say it's not us. Come
email
on.
I follow. I agree.
Yeah, but the club get the revenue.
Yeah, I agree. Look, we've
Do you
got
know what I mean?
adverts all
So-
over the screen now. Marcus
Happy
Evans
days.
was popping up yesterday, and
You're talking town on there.
Well, if they want a proper host, I am available. Nick Muller, I work at Waitrose, you know. And Adam Flatt, get me on. Adam Flatt, we are looking for a contributor on Tuesday. So if you are free, then get yourself on. It's myself and Steve at the moment. I want somebody else to join us. I was hoping Matt would. Now he's been given permission from his missus, a written note. He's not keen. Look.
he's not keen, is he? He's not a team player, that boy.
You've got something there, mate. You've got something right on your forehead. I'm not quite sure what it is.
Yeah, I just don't see why, you're getting such a negative thing about the game from Lambert, why the fans should have to pay a tenner to watch it. It just annoys me, that. Give it to
Lee
the
Brown
fans.
says,
Free.
don't bother. Take your missus out, Matt.
Richard's done 300 quid on shirts. Why not give him a £10 streaming voucher?
Because they're
Nice
losing
of
£10 million. Sorry, I can't get a straight face on that one. There we go. Right, we're done. Oh, he's in Oregon virtually.
How?
You don't need, no, Adam, you don't
Clever.
need to do that anymore. You don't need to do that anymore. You can watch it from Suffolk. It's all right. Right, we're done. Another week's in the books. Hopefully, during
stuff.
this week, we'll have more social media antics.
Shout out to Malcolm. Shout out to Sore Feet for the beat.
Sophie, he's been soaked to the bone, poor fella.
Keep it going. I see you got his heat patches on last night.
Yeah, they're
How
pretty
did he
good.
feature
though.
on ITV Anglia last night, which is good to hear.
I'm really
Did he?
hoping that someone's down there on Saturday when he comes in from the local media.
Be great.
Yeah.
It's only next
I
door. Archant's only
Yeah,
next door.
Exactly.
It shouldn't be too hard to get somebody out there. Sore Feet for the beat. Walk from Collard to Ipswich. Ongoing. There's my dog. He loves it as well.
He's on his own now as well because his mate had to pull out.
Yeah, head to sorefeet.live. I'd love to see that that collection tin overflowing. It's a really good thing that he's doing. Obviously, Kevin Peter was a great player. We'll see you Tuesday at Clacton, and we'll lead out with our lovely sponsors.
Are you somebody responsible for sales? Or perhaps you already run your own business? Why not come along to the launch of our second group with Networking 90 called Brunel? We're running it on the 20th of October. It's a UK-wide, online-only networking group.